Hello, I'm Vanessa from Abundant Freedom, and today we're going to talk about Apex accounts in Tradovate. So, as you can see on the top here on apextrading.com, any size evals up to 90% off. So, this is when I normally go in and buy Apex evals when they're on special using the coupon code Save Now. So, if you go and click on that, it'll drop down and take you to what the funding path is. So, you can see here intraday. We can choose the 50k, that's probably the best value for money. And then just get the standard if you're just new and you're not sure if you can pass in 1 to 2 trades. And the intraday is when the price reaches its maximum unrealized, meaning you haven't actually realized and closed the trade and got the money, but unrealized, meaning it's still moving up and down. Whatever that highest peak is where the $2,000 drawdown comes from. And the end of a day trail is the realize when you actually close out the trade. So it can be very hard to work on intraday, which is why it's cheaper. So you can see here the standard, if you just trying it out and you're not sure if you're going to be able to pass, then over here you can see here that's if you just want to buy one, it's $24.90. These are US dollars, or $95 US for a pack of 5, which can be quite good because in Tradovate you can copy trade 5 of them all at once. Saves on the mental fatigue. So as you can see here, I've chosen intraday trail, standard, and 50k. And you can see here that you can pass in 1 day. You can do 6 minis or 60 micros. Your target is $3,000 and your maximum drawdown is $2,000. So the intraday is, as I explained, it's your unrealized highest peak that you got to in that trade on those accounts. Okay, and then if we just click on the performance account, you can see down here that once you do pass, it's $79 per account to activate it. And the activation is 7 days from when you pass the evaluation. So you've got 7 days to do it. So if you're going to copy trade all 5 at once, you don't have to activate all 5 at once. You can do 1 at a time. And then the payout frequency is every 5 days. So you need to get at least $200 in the green a day. It doesn't have to be consecutive days, but you need at least 5 in a row to be able to get a payout. And the maximum accounts you can have is 20. So you can copy trade all 20 together, or you can copy trade them in lots of 5, or however you like to do that. Alrighty, so once you actually pass the challenge, you can do 4 minis or 40 micros. And your maximum drawdown is $2,000. And again, it's still intraday. And the daily loss limit, yes, there is one. The daily loss limit is $1,000, but it's not a hard breach. It just stops you until the next day. And consistency rule, 50%. So over the 5 days, one single day can't consist of more than 50% of your total profits. So just to keep that in mind, makes it easier to think about. Many prop accounts work out their consistency rule slightly different, but most of them it's pretty much 1 day can't be more than 50%. Okay, and right here we've got payout splits, 100%. You get 100% of your profits at this stage. Yes, there is an inactivity policy, so if you don't access the account, I think it might be 7 days, I'd have to check on that, then you've lost the account basically, and you can have up to 6 payouts before they'll move you to live. So as you can see down here, it's a one-time fee, there's no rebill. The evaluation is active for 30 days and it will expire after 30 days, so there's just no resets on that. So if you go ahead and you just buy the 5 packs, you can choose which one you want. I personally like to use Tradovate, and that will take you through to Apex. We can go ahead and select your 5 pack, should auto select because that's the one you chose, and then you just put in save now and that will give you your code. So instead of being $950 US for 5 pack, it should be just 95 US. So when you go through to the next screen, there you go, it's 95 US, and then you can put in your credit card details. So I already have my 5 purchased. So I just want to now take you to Tradovate. So this is where you would set up your account. You'd go through and create an account. And when you're in there, you would just go through to, so I'm in the simulation right now, but you can go up to your application settings just up here. And if you want to, you can trade through TradingView. You don't have to trade through Tradovate. If you do choose TradingView, you can't copy trade, but you can add on a third-party trade copier or trade syncer, whichever one you like. So on the add-ons here, you can go down and you can select all the different things that you may wish to have within your Tradovate accounts, or select TradingView to activate it. You can also in your accounts go through and set your risk settings. So you can say, look, I'm going to have a daily loss limit. If I lose more than $600 in a day, then I want you just to stop me for the day, because I don't want to go on spiral and on tilt and just lose it all. So you can pop these sort of risk settings in for each of your accounts as well. Right, so now I'm going to take you into Tradovate here. So you can see I've got my accounts all set up. Right here, I like to put this onto full screen, just so I get rid of, rid of all the top tab headers, so I can focus purely on the charts. Now, using your mouse, if you have a mouse connected, it's a lot easier than using your trackpad, because you can use the wheel and mouse to zoom in and zoom out. So if you hold it over top of the numbers on the right, it can zoom in and out, and then on the left there. So along the top we have indicators, and we have your chart that we've got up. There's a VWAP on there, which is this blue line. We can just get rid of that. And then just to get rid of it, turn on there. You can also delete all of the drawings that are currently on there, which is nice when you're starting for each session new. So let's just remove all the drawings. And as you can see here, I've got M and Q up here. We're on the 5-minute chart. This is where you can go through and select your different time frame. And on this right side, I've got MGC. So you got MGC, so this is mini gold. And I've got on the 15 time frame, and then down here I've got mini gold as well, and that's on the 30 time frame. You can see I've got yellow dots next to them. It means that when I'm selecting a tool, I've got the global sync on. So what I put on one chart will appear on others in terms of drawings. Now, one thing that does frustrate people when they are on here, I'll just get rid of the VWAP as well, is that, and I'll get rid of the lines as well. Okay. Remove all drawings. Right. Is that when you click, it's a left click, it puts a position order in there. But that's okay. You haven't actually entered any order until you hover over and click one of these. So if you're obviously above price, it will give you either a sell limit or a buy stop. So just be wary of that when you're doing it. And also it doesn't do bracket orders, so you'll need to set them separately. And when you do exit, just push exit at market. That just closes out any extra trades if you've forgotten that you've put a runner in, or partials, or you got stopped down, you forgot that you put your TP in. Leave that there. So I can, on my let's see here, just go back there. Sometimes the charts can do something a bit funny. We saw that white heading, just click out and click back in. So to keep an eye on your trailing drawdown, and you see this little button here, full size, you can make each one of these charts full size, is that you can keep an eye on your account here. So you can see that there's 5 Apex accounts, they're all brand new, 50,000, the drawdown's 48. Now the distance to drawdown is what you want to keep an eye on. So this will start to go down, and as it gets to 0, you basically you're blowing your account. So this is your trailing maximum and your dollar of your total profit and loss. And this is your position sizing. So if you think that you've exited everything, you can just have a look in here and you're actually still in a position. So you can go back and exit out of there. So I'm just going to make that back again small, go back to my chart here. So you can set up, customize this however you like. I like mine with 4 different charts on here. I like to lock my drawing tools in. If you don't lock it, that when you go off the screen, they'll just disappear. As you can see on this bottom one here, when I go off the screen, it disappears, which is fine because I do all my drawings on the top 2 15-minute charts. So I can just have those disappear, and that just gives me more visual room as well. Now, one other thing I do like to have is performance center. So let's just make that large as well. And this just tells me how I'm doing for my trades, how many trades I've taken, what's my profit and loss, what's my win rate. So this can be quite handy for you to look at during the day. Alrighty, so one thing I am going to do right now is we're going to go ahead and copy trade our 5 accounts. We're going to set this up. So at the top here on Apex, when you click on this, it brings you up all your accounts here. You can go ahead and click manage groups, and you can go ahead and give a name to your group. So just for argument's sake, I'm going to call this Apex, and I'm just going to put C for challenge, so that if I do decide I want to go up to 20 accounts and I've moved some to funded already, I've got, I can see visually quickly what that is. So push OK. It's created this new group that you can manage. Now you can just drag and drop them each to the other side. Now it's got here quantities. You can increase those quantities if you like. All this does is multiply them. So when you are actually placing a trade, it will do it in multiples. But I prefer just to leave everything at 1 for mass purposes. And when you're actually doing the trade, so you can see here, I'm on the first account and I have this ticked. As long as I have this ticked, it means that all 5 are trading at once. And at any time you can untick this and just trade 1 account at a time. But what I like to do is that when I am entering a trade, because I've got 5 accounts up here, it needs to be in lots of 5. So if I look at the moment, it's 8, and let's just do 1, sorry, for example's sake. If I go and left click and go and do a buy stop of 1, it'll tell me I can't, it has to be in multiples of 5 because there are 5 there. So if you wanted to do on MNQ, wanted to do, let's say 5 micros per account, you would need to do 5 times 5. So you'd be putting in there 25 and then doing your buy stop or your sell limit from there. So anyway, that's a quick setup on how everything is. If you want to customize your chart, you can go through into the configure chart elements. Oops, sorry, not that one. This one here, chart settings. Down the bottom is color schemes. You can go ahead and create one. I've created one called navy, and you can go in and customize all the different colors in there. So that's what I've gone and done for my background, my candles, etc. And you can save different templates, and to access them each time you go in, you can put them here. You can see I've got a neon pink one, and I've got a purple one. So you can just keep going back and forth between those by selecting a template. So for any reason it resets when you get a new lot of prop accounts, you can just go and put your templates on there. And under this one here, chart settings, you always want to use previous settings and current position on. The other thing as well is for fills and orders, you want to have show orders on, and you want to have show order lines on. So what that does is when you enter a position, it will show you over here on the right hand side where your stop entry is, where your take profit and your stop losses from where you put the orders. So if I go here and do a buy stop for 25, you can see here it puts a green, it's got times 5, meaning that I've got 5 contracts on. And then likewise, if you're going to go and do a sell limit, for example, it will go and put that in as red to tell you that's where your stop loss is. And then if you do it below as well, let's just do a sell limit 2, it'll show you here as well. So that's just how you do it, and you can move these up and down as well. So that's why you want those turned on, so you can actually see them. And other than that, just have a play around in the different ones of what they mean, what you feel they are. There is auto fit chart and continuous auto fit. I have mine turned off. I don't like every time I zoom around in the chart that it starts to auto fit the screen. I prefer to move it around and resize it myself using my mouse and my wheel on my mouse. Up here is your different chart options. I tend to use Heikin-Ashi just to get an overview of what the overall trend is and obviously there's a lot of green, so we're in uptrend, and now there's a lot of purple, so it's sort of coming down. So I know that we're coming down at the moment. So that's kind of a good quick visual cue. And then the other thing I like to use on here is line charts. So each of these peaks where it reverses is showing you where price reversed and had a reaction. And it's quite good that if you are, let me just zoom into big, having a look to see where price may react again, you can see right here that there is a resistance where it's bounced off a couple of times, come up, bounced off before it finally broke through. And you can see over here, price came down and bounced off. So that was a support that is now turned resistance. You can see that could be a key level that you want to highlight. So you can go ahead with your drawing tool over here, and you can just go and mark that off. And then when you go back to your candles, you can just see, oh, look, yeah, that's where the candles had a reaction, because the line chart shows you candle body closures, and there's a reaction there. So as you're coming down, you could think that there most likely will be a reaction here. If there's a lot of volume, hopefully it'll break through, but either way, you'll get a break and retest or a bounce and retest at this key level here. So that's something just to keep an eye on. In terms of customizing all of these tools, when you are in your toolbox over here and you do go and choose a line, you can just double click on it and choose how you want it to look. So I've gone and chosen the color orange, and I've made it a line, meaning it will go left and right. Same if you're going to do a ray. If you do trend lines, then that will just put a continuous line, and you can choose the different types of lines that you want there, the different weights of the lines. And then you can save it as default, apply it, and it will always make that same color, same line each time you go in here to do that. So anyway, just wanted to show you how we set up our chart in Tradovate, how we copy trade, and how we buy our accounts. Now you can, a lot of different prop firms use Tradovate, so you can actually use Tradovate natively and copy trade multiple together. Some people don't like Tradovate because it is a bit nuancy, but it's quite good for the trade Copier, and the delay is pretty minimal. It's minuscule, which in trading view there's a 5-second delay, so if you are scalping on a lower chart, that 5 seconds can mean a lot. If you're working on the high time frames, may not be so much of an issue, given that trading view is quite easy to use. And I do use trading view for all my charting. Once I see any sort of key reactions, then I'll come to Tradovate and just have a look where those levels are, and I can make my price thought there. So you can see prices come down, it's had a reaction. If you have a look on the line chart, there was a little minor reaction right there where it's just hit that. Now price does like to test previous levels to see how robust they are. So line charts can come in handy for that, but reading pure candles really helps so that you can see what buyers and sellers are doing. So you can see at the moment that sellers are trying to sell down. It's come into an area right here where there is a level of support as well right here, and buyers have stepped in. So you can see here that sellers tried to sell down, but it held. Buyers held the price and pushed it back up. So you can see there was a lot of buyers that were happy to step in at that level. So it's no surprise that there'd be a lot of buyers stepping in. This was a bit of a pivot point, but anything can happen. And this white line is just telling you the current price at the moment. Hope you enjoyed this little tutorial on how I copy trade 5 accounts together using Apex and Tradovate and TradingView for my charting. Have a great day.